Hello guys, welcome to Don's Little Hobbies, and today we are doing episode 2, that's right, episode 2 of my ins and outs of fish keeping series, which will basically teach you the absolute basics of fish keeping. In today's video, I simply want to talk about filtration. Now, I'm not talking about the filters themselves. I'll do that in probably episode 4. But today, I just want to talk about the filtration components. The filtration that goes inside your filter. And there are, in fact, 4 types of filtration. Now, people are going to already start writing in the comments, I know. What are you talking about 4? I thought that there was only 2. I always heard that there was always 2 types of filtration. Well, the fact is, there are in fact 4, and we're going to be talking about all 4 of them in today's video. So let's get started. With the first type of filtration I want to talk about is mechanical filtration. What is mechanical filtration? Well, in a simple sense, it's basically a net. You know how you can use a net to catch fish? Well, it's basically the exact same thing. It's usually, you can either use a sponge or some other type of cloth that is small enough to catch small particles in the water, including fish poo and other stuff else that is caught in the water. And it just makes it simply easier to get that stuff out of the water. You don't actually need mechanical filtration, as nature really doesn't use it. But you know what? It's better just to have it, and you can have as much mechanical filtration as you want. In fact, you can fill one tank, you shouldn't, but you could fill basically one filter of just mechanical filtration all the way to the top and have just a small amount of biological filtration. And the reason why I'll get into later on, but basically you can only have a certain amount of biological filtration, but you can have as much mechanical filtration as you want. It will, of course, keep the water crystal clear and clean as you keep using more and more mechanical filtration. But yeah, mechanical filtration, that's number 1. It's not essential, but it makes it easier to keep aquariums clean. And if you have some sort of problem with keeping our aquariums clean, like maybe there's flowing fish poo or something around in the water, and your filter's not really catching it, well, maybe you should just add more mechanical filtration. But with that said, let's go on to number 2. Alright, so let's talk about the number 2 type of filtration. The number 2 I want to talk about is chemical filtration, aka carbon. There's more types of chemical filtration out there, but carbon is the most common. Look, all chemical filtration really is, and what it's used for, it's to take out harmful chemicals from the water in your aquarium. Well, assuming that you use water conditioner and you check your pH and all that, generally you shouldn't really have to deal with many problems in your aquarium in terms of chemicals. I mean, yeah, every now and again, if you have something in your water that you know is there, that you can prove is there, then yeah, go ahead and use carbon. Carbon is very useful with hospital tanks. If you have a sick fish and you put medicine in the water, well, unless you're taking the fish right out of that tank and putting it into something else, well then the only way to really get rid of that chemical, the medicine, is by using, again, carbon. So carbon does have its place in the hobby. But the manufacturers of aquariums and filters and stuff like that, they basically want you to buy it constantly just to make money off of you. It's a total cash scam, and it's simply not true. You simply do not need as much carbon as the manufacturers will have you believe. That's just a simple fact. It's just a money scam. But for the most part, it's not needed, and I really wish that filters wouldn't come with carbon. And you know what? There are in fact some filters that are just carbon filters and don't have any biological or mechanical filtration. And chemical filtration, all it does is it takes out chemicals, but it doesn't catch fish poo, it doesn't grow bacteria, and it simply doesn't work as long as you think. If you use a carbon filter, then you should be changing that every single week. And that's not really something you want to do with a filter. With a filter, you want to have it set up so you can change it maybe once a month. With carbon, after a little while, it will eventually break down and release the chemicals that was holding that capture from the water. It will break down and release those chemicals back into the water. So you really want to change that carbon at least once a week, which is just terrible and it's pointless, especially if you have planted aquariums, which I do. I know my lights are out right now, but planted aquariums, they have plants. They need CO2 and stuff like that, and carbon will take all of that out, all of that nutrients from the water out. So in a simple sense, it's just not needed, guys. Carbon is just a money scam for the big companies. So let's talk about the third type of filtration, and the third type of filtration is, I was just talking about it a second ago, plants. Plants, you know, you should never use plants as your only source of filtration. I truly believe that. But plants do filter the water. And eventually I do want to talk about plants. I think I'm going to be talking about the benefits of plants in episode 11 of the series, eventually when I get there. But plants have many benefits, and one of the benefits is their natural filters. Use natural filtration, get a plant in your water. And of course, there are beginner plants out there, easy to take care of beginner plants, like Anubis or maybe Java Moss. Yeah, plants are natural filters. I truly do believe you should never use them as the only type of filters in your tank, but they will filter your water. They take on the nutrients that comes from the fish poo, and they even release oxygen, oxygenating your water for your fish. It's perfect. That's why nature uses plants, guys. So let's go ahead and talk about number 4. Now, number 4, I'm actually not going to talk about until next video, because there's a lot to talk about biological filtration, and if I talked about it more in this video will just get absolutely crazy long. But yes, biological filtration is number 4, and it's the most important type of filtration. And there is a lot that I want to talk about. So that will be in my next video. That will be in episode 3 of the series. Biological filtration, everything about biological filtration. So make sure you guys click like, share, and click subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I upload. You guys are not going to want to miss my next video about biological filtration, because I am going to give you everything you need to know about biological filtration. But with that said, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys did learn about filtration and the other types of filtration you can use in your aquariums. Now, again, there's like other chemical filtrations and stuff you could use, but this was the absolute basics, so there you go. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.